Thank you for joining us today for the webinar on how to be compliance audit ready. My name is Beverly Snyder. I'm the Account Services Manager here at the Retirement Office, and today I'm going to take you through everything you need to know about the compliance audit process. Before we talk about how to be ready, let's talk about why we do the compliance reviews. Title 49 Utah Code 49-11-604 states that the Retirement Office may perform on-site compliance audits of participating employers to determine compliance with reporting, contribution, and certification requirements. Now, the word audit is a word that we don't typically use. As you know, we refer to our audits as reviews. We do this because we are really coming out, reviewing your documentation, and helping you to find your missing links so that we can provide more education and one-on-one training to hopefully make your life a little bit easier. We complete compliance audits with each employer once every 3 years. We are currently working on round 3, so that means that each one of you have had at least 2 compliance reviews. Some of you have probably already have gotten your 3rd compliance review. Once we complete the 3-year cycle, we start all over again. So what should you expect as we get ready to start your review? The first thing that we are going to do is we're going to give you a call. We are usually contacting your administrator or your business administrator that we have listed for your agency here in the Retirement Office. Now, when we contact that individual, they may give us the name of a different contact person they want us to work with in order to complete the compliance review, but we're always going to start with the administrator or the business administrator. When we call, we will let you know that we are doing compliance reviews in your county and that we need to get one started on you. Typically, when we come out, we do counties at a time. So if we're working on your audit, we're working on all of the reviews in that county at the same time. We are also going to discuss the compliance review timeframe with you. We'll let you know, what we are expecting to be a completion date, and then we're going to let you know that the information that we need to receive from you in order to be able to complete the compliance review. The information that we will always ask you for is a current list of your employees as first. Keep in mind that when we ask you for that current list of employees, we need everybody associated with your agency to be included on that list. So that means all of your full-time, your part-time, your temporary, your seasonal. Let's not leave anybody off the list because otherwise it just complicates the process. Next, we're going to ask for a list of all of your elected and appointed officials. We test them differently because eligibility for them is a little bit different. And make sure on that list that if you have a judge, make sure you include your judge on there. Next, we're going to ask you for a list of all of your independent contractors or your 1099 employees. So anybody that you do not pay on payroll needs to be included on this list. Now, if you have some employees that earn less than $600, so you're not going to provide a 1099 to the IRS, we still need you to include them on the list coming to us. Next, we're going to ask you for policies related to your benefits and how your employees accrue those benefits. We're going to ask you for a copy of your policy that relates to eligibility for your Tier 2 elected and appointed officials. And finally, we are going to be asking you for payroll that covers the time period for the compliance review. Typically, the compliance reviews are 18 to 24 months. So we're going to ask you for that payroll. If you are a big employer, we might have to pick that payroll up when we come to your office if you can't get it to us electronically. Now, from there, we're going to send you out what we call a notification letter. The notification letter is a signed document that outlines the compliance review process, and page 2 of that letter provides you with the list of all the things that we're going to need to get from you in order to complete the review. So basically, all of the things that we just talked about. We will always provide you with an encrypted email to send your information back to us because we always want to keep those social security numbers protected. So while we are waiting to receive your information, we begin our review work in our office. The first thing that we do is the employer research. When we're researching your agency, we are looking at things like which retirement systems do you participate in, which funds do you have employees in, what savings plans do you offer. We're looking at your contribution reporting cycle. We're researching your elected and appointed officials. We're looking to see if you have a judge. We are also looking at if you are in the public safety retirement system. We're also looking at your public safety positions to see which ones have been approved. Basically, we are looking into all of the details of your agency, information that we need to know in order to conduct a complete compliance review. Next, we're going to begin what we call our comparison report process. This is a very meticulous process where we determine the status of each one of your employees. We pull information from the URS mainframe. We pull information from the contribution files coming into our office and how you're reporting each person. And then when we receive your employee list, we put all of that information together and we do a manual comparison one by one of each and every employee. By the time that we're done, we know the history of each one of your employees. So once we've received all of your information and we complete the comparison report, we're going to select samples from each one of the groups of employees that you have. So for example, you might have eligible, ineligible, post-retired, public safety, firefighters. Each bucket of employees that you have, we are going to select a sample pool from there. We're going to test all of your public employees, your public safety, your firefighters. We're going to look at your elected and appointed officials. We always test the judge, so if you have a judge, make sure you include him. We're going to do 100% testing on your post-retired employees and also on your exempt employees. We are going to test your ineligible employees. And in addition, we are also going to test your terminated employees. We do some additional testing in addition to looking at your groups of employees. We're going to test your contribution reporting cycles. So you are required by law to report to us within 30 days of your period end date. So we're going to look at the time period for the compliance review, and we're going to make sure that you have submitted all of your contribution files in a timely manner. If you are in the public safety retirement system, we are going to be testing your public safety positions. We're looking to make sure that all of the public safety officers' positions that you have working for you right now, we're making sure that they're all in an approved position. Next, we're going to look at your employee deferral changes. Your employees have the ability to go into their accounts online and request maybe a 401k deduction or an IRA deduction. We provide you with a report every Monday morning called that DC Deferral Change Report, letting you know who has made changes within the last week. And so when we look at this, we're going to pick samples and we're going to select we're going to make sure that you are making those deferral changes for your employees within that same 30-day time period. And finally, we are going to test each one of your independent contractor 1099 employees. We test this group to make sure that you don't have any post-retireds that are working, receiving a 1099 that have not been reported to our office. Once the testing has been completed, we make a list of any missing information or contributions that we may find. This could include missing forms, it could be inconsistent dates, it could just be information that we need some clarification on. Once all of the information is compiled, we are going to send out our exceptions memo to you, outlining the information that we need to receive. Most of the time, we're going to need a response back from the exceptions memos in order to complete the compliance review. So if we send you an exceptions memo because you have missing contributions, we're also going to be asking you for payroll, because if you have a member's account that needs to be adjusted to make that account whole, we are always going to need the missing payroll in order to correct that. Okay, once all of the analysis and the testing has been completed, we will schedule an interview time with you. When we do the interview, we're basically just gathering the last bits of information that we need to do the final phase of the compliance review. If you are a smaller employer with 25 or less active employees, you may have the option to do the interview process over the phone. If you are an employer with 25 or more active employees, we're going to schedule a time to come to your office to complete the interview phase of the review. When we do our field work, we are usually scheduling for all employers in the county within the same few days, but we try to work with your schedule during the time that we are there. All employers, even the smaller ones, will be given the opportunity for our compliance team to visit your office and provide any help or training you might need for you and your staff. Education is and always has been a big priority for us, so please never hesitate to let us know when there's something that you might need a little bit of help with. Once we have completed the interview process and we receive all of the information back from you regarding any questions that we may have, we start the finalizing phase of the review. First, we're going to type up all of our review notes, which includes all of the information that we have gathered up till this point, including all of the information, all of the things that we talk about in the interview process. Next, we're going to prepare and issue your report. The draft report may consist of advisories, recommendations, and findings based on what we find during your review. If you receive any findings, we're going to provide you with an action plan for you to complete and return to us. The purpose of the action plan is so that we can document how your agency will correct any findings we may have found. Once you complete the action plan, you return it to your auditor and he or she will add your response to the report and they will issue you a final report for your records. At that point, your review is complete. If you are an employer who received no advisories, no recommendations, or no findings, at that point, we just issue a final report and your process is complete. Just a side note, all reports are now provided to you electronically. So you'll receive that by an email. In the event that you happen to get a repeat finding or a finding that is related to eligibility or contribution reporting, you may be required to have what we call follow-up reviews every 6 months at that point. The purpose of the follow-up reviews is to ensure that you have made any updates needed to prevent future findings. We don't want you to continue to have problems because eventually you could be fined fees and penalties, and we don't want that to happen. So the purpose of the follow-up reviews is to continue to help you until you get that resolution. We do issue repeat findings once a finding has been identified but has not been corrected within a reasonable amount of time. So we realize that the retirement laws can be very confusing and complicated, so we strive to provide you with as many educational opportunities as we can to keep you on top of things. The Inside Story is an electronic kind of newsletter that we provide to you 3 times per year has a lot of valuable articles that are put in there, so I would encourage you to read those. We do these webinars, such as the one today. We do those the third Wednesday of each month at 10 o'clock. Each month is a different topic. We archive all of those webinars in the Knowledge Corner for you on our website, so you can reference back to those anytime you want to. We also provide a basic Retirement 101 training here at our retirement office every August and February, again on the third Wednesday of every month at 9 a.m. And then the big one, we have a team that gets together and they travel the state for about 2.5 to 3 weeks every spring to provide you with the comprehensive employer training. I recommend that every single employer put this on their calendar to attend this training every year, since this is the training where we bring you all of the hot topics and any changes that may have come out of the most recent legislative session. Finally, I would like to introduce you to the compliance audit team. When your agency is up for a compliance review, you will hear from one of us. Again, I am Beverly Snyder. I'm the Account Services Manager here at the Retirement Office. I have spent the last 8 years traveling the state, meeting all of the employers, and conducting compliance reviews. Next, we have Connie Ventura Smith, who has been with the Retirement Office for quite some time, and he joined our compliance audit team in 2016. And finally, we have Jason Stegan. Jason has been with the Retirement Office again for quite some time, but recently joined the compliance team in 2017. All three of us love providing education and helping all of you as often and as much as you need us. Never hesitate to call or email anyone on our team. That completes the basic steps of what to expect during a compliance review. I really appreciate you joining us today, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. I'm going to leave the question and answer box open for the next 5 minutes or so in case you have any additional questions. If you're curious as to when your next compliance review might be, please pick up the phone and call me anytime, and I would be happy to pull up our schedule and let you know when you'll be up. Again, thank you for joining us today. I really appreciate it. Have a great day.